Well, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let me put a quick shondo in the chat for you. How art thou? Hey. Hey. What am I looking for? Hey, Chantel. Hey, Reese's Pieces. Hey, now. Hey, to the now. Hey, Dommy. Hey, Abby. Hey, Discovering Des. Hey, little baby. Hey, KER, Kerr Vixen. I got off work early today. Well, technically, I'm not off, but I left the office and came home because I can do the rest of my work from home. So I left to avoid the traffic. Hey, Patty Duke. Y'all know I done found me some stuff on Al Gore's Good Internet. Y'all remember the last time I had a weird story on the internet? We had people cutting out people's balls and gutting them and trying to fight the police and all kind of stupid child. We have more zaniness and hilarity from Al Gore's Good Internet. We also will speak we're also, we continue to say that we would not be silenced. And we will start off talking about some things involving everything going on. And then we'll delve into more of the hilarity. Hey, Amber. So, let me get the heavy stuff out of the way first. See if I have to do a share screen. Hold on. Because I may have to do a share screen. It's so funny, really, because I literally scheduled it 30 minutes before. I scheduled it 30 minutes before the last scheduled it at like 1:30 when I was at a light on my way home. Hey, Yana. What's going on, boo? But hey, really be hey. Child, some of y'all done turned purple. We got pinks, purples, and greens up in here. Bust through with the purple. Bust through purple. Some nice avatars. Hold on. You know what? That Dommy, what you sent me is on my list of stuff to talk about. I hate you. It is on my list. I can't stand you, Dommy. But we always hear Dommy. That was already on my list. We're gonna talk about that. Just hold off, Dommy. Just hold off. I was trying to save that to toward the end, but when you got good news that good, you'd be like, I don't know if I can save that. Y'all definitely want to stay around to the latter half because we got good news in the latter half. Good news. Anyway, y'all, so let's get the serious stuff out the way. So we are still protesting across the fruited plains. And there are some stories that I want to bring to your attention because you need to know. So let me do my share screen. Hold on. All right. Read the headline. Can y'all see that? Read that headline. Mm-hmm. Y'all see it? Move. Get myself situated here. All right. The headline says Buffalo officials investigating firing of black cop who intervened during chokehold. Officials in Buffalo are investigating why a black police officer was the one fired after she intervened when another cop, who was white, placed a suspect in a chokehold. CNN affiliate WIVB reported that Carol Horn got involved after she witnessed an officer choking Neil Mack during an arrest more than a decade ago in November of 2016. She was subsequently fired. By that point, she had served 19 years on the Buffalo Police Department and one just 1 year shy of 20, which would allow her to receive her pension. However, the incident prevented her from collecting as she was fired. Horn believed not qualifying for her pension was retaliation. So if you cross that thin blue line, then you get ostracized and treated really badly. I didn't I didn't want to I didn't want that to happen to anyone, um, Horn said. So I lost my pension. Neil Mack didn't lose his life. So Neil Mack still lives to this day because I did intervene. Now, it goes on to say the Buffalo Common Council has now put forth a resolution to the New York Attorney General's office to consider the case. It will call the officers to practice, quote, duty first, end quote, which would require officers to protect citizens from excessive force. Buffalo Common Council President Darius G. Pridgeon said that the current climate made the resolution more likely to garner support and reinstate Horn's pension. In the wake of George Floyd's death, there have been global protests against police brutality. Quote, we now have a totally different attorney general. We have a totally different climate and atmosphere and lens right now across the world as it deals with the policing in the United States. End quote, says Pridgeon. So I think it's an opportune time to look back at this case and to see were there civil rights violations. So were there civil rights violations so she can be made whole, end quote. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, who is African American, said Horn did not have to be fired, but that she made a, quote, conscious decision, end quote, to go before an arbitrator rather than go before the first black police commissioner, H. McCarthy Gibson. He was appointed by Brown and unanimously confirmed by the Common Council. And it goes on and on and on. But this is what we have. And even though that was some years ago, that speaks to the racism that we have in America. Let me see what y'all saying. Okay. I'm just looking at y'all comments. Right now, they're going to investigate a mess. A mess. Hey, Stephanie Blackman. Blackman Dean, I'm sorry. Let me not forget your whole hyphenated name, child. People get upset about their hyphens, honey. In more news, another story. Netflix CEO Reed Hastings donates over $100 million to HBCUs, talks importance of supporting Black colleges. This is interesting. Now, you know, a lot of white people are feeling their guilt right now because they've been so silent all these years. We'll take your money. We certainly will take your money. Is there room over here on the bandwagon? Not by me. I'm not saying there ain't no room on the bandwagon. I'm just saying ain't no room over here by me. I'm going over there by some of the mothers. But we certainly will take your money. In an effort to cut down on the level of debt students graduate with, Netflix CEO Reed Hastings and philanthropist Patty Quillen gifted an extraordinary monetary boost in support of historically Black colleges and universities. Spelman College, Morris Brown College, and the United Negro College Fund will receive $40 million each for student scholarships. Now, here's my problem. And I hate to be this guy, but I'm going to be this guy. Do you think that they only gave to those two colleges because those are the only two HBCUs that they know, and then just gave another 40 to United Negro College Fund and said, okay, y'all figure that out because we ain't got time to be figuring out all these HBCUs. You just take United Negro College Fund, just take 40 million and figure that out between the rest of them. They'll figure it out. Because you give it a whole 40 million to Morehouse and a whole 40 million to Spelman, and then 40 million for United Negro College Fund and just split in between the rest of the HBCUs. I'm just saying. Am I wrong? Let me see what y'all saying. Am I wrong for asking this question? Am I wrong? Let's see what y'all saying. Right, Patty Duke. We done gave Netflix a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. I just want to know why you gave to those two colleges specifically and then just told United Negro College Fund, okay, work out the rest. Work it out. You got it. That sounds like another incident where white people, let me put it in the chat, hashtag why people try to throw money at something just to get us to shut up. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. I think they should have put the money into a national HB, but they should have given that whole 120 because that's $120,000. I'm not $1,000,000. It's 120 million different dollars. And why does it? What difference does it make? It makes a lot of difference because Spelman and Morehouse are two of the smaller HBCUs, but there are other HBCUs that are larger that could stand to get more funds, you know, for more scholarships based on the percentage wise and their numbers. And while it's laudable, one, I think it is another situation where they just say, okay, we're just going to appease the Black people. Let me throw some money over at some HBCUs and they won't have no smoke for me. But what are you doing to really, are you really in it with us? Two, if you are going to be giving away that amount of money, do your homework and do your research and make sure that it's done the right way. Do your homework. I mean, if you knew about United Negro College Fund, then you should have just said, well, you know what, we're going to give all the $120 million to United Negro College Fund, and then they can, you know, and then put a proviso in the giving of the money and saying, you know, we want it to go out equitably amongst the HBCUs. It makes a difference because there are some HBCUs that are in finance exactly and struggle. Like I know really B's alma mater, Bennett College, they're having, I remember she was talking, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be getting this wrong, really B, but I remember she was talking about Bennett was, soliciting funds and fundraising and things like that. And HBCUs are always fundraising. And the thing about it is, you got a lot of people that already give to Spelman and Morehouse, but a lot of other HBCUs which are struggling do not receive the same level of funding. So that's why it makes a difference. Right. You got, like I said, I know really B went to Bennett. You got schools in Florida like Edward Waters College, Florida Memorial University, Bethune-Cookman University. Those are three FAMU, Florida A&M University. Those are four HBCUs in Florida by it. And I'm not going to go through the full gamut of HBCUs and calling them all out, but there are a lot of HBCUs that could use that money. So it does matter. Mm. I done been through Edward Waters College when I go to Jacksonville. I ain't gonna tell you what I'm doing while I'm there. Let me continue to read the article. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. I went off on a tangent. Sorry. I wish really B was in the chat so she could tell us more about Bennett, but she probably listening and driving us out. We've supported these three extraordinary institutions for the last few years because we believe that investing in the education of black youth is one of the best ways to invest in America's futures. Queeland and Hastings said in a statement, quote, both of us have the privilege of a great education and we want to help more students, in particular students of color, get the same start in life. The statement continued, HBCUs have a tremendous record, yet are disadvantaged when it comes to giving. Generally, white capital flows to predominantly white institutions, perpetuating capital isolation. We hope this additional $120 million donation will help more Black students follow their dreams and also encourage more people to support these institutions, helping to reverse generations of inequity in our country. Now, if you've already been giving to Spelman and Morehouse as colleges, that's even more of a reason why that whole 120 should have went to the United Negro College Fund to go to be spread out through all of the I'm not going to necessarily say all of them, but more of the HBCUs, so more funds can be used for more Black students, because Spelman College and Morehouse College, their enrollment is really small compared to some other HBCUs. I'm just being honest. Just calling a spade a spade. You're right, really B. You never make everyone happy. You're very right, really B. I wish my school had gotten the money, but I don't think we can tell people where to give their money. They didn't have to give anything. You're very right, really B. You're very right. But I'm just saying, if you already I might have said that. I might go wholeheartedly with that if they didn't know that there was an entity like United Negro College Fund. But the fact that you are fully aware of United Negro College Fund and what it is that they do, that to me speaks to that there are even more reasons why you should be giving money to United Negro College Fund so that they could spread the wealth to more HBCUs. All right, let me go to the next article. I just wanted to talk about that real fast because I saw that, but I still had questions and commentary. Oh no, I closed the wrong one. Damn it. Hold on, y'all. I closed the wrong one, y'all. Damn it. I'm getting like really beat now with my screen sharing. I know I'm better than this. It just sounds like they're putting a band-aid over it. We're going to give to the ones we know and then to this fund. It's performative charm. Not true. Morehouse and Spelman are powerhouse and they pretty good numbers. as it compares to HBC. No, Morehouse and Spelman are powerhouse HBCUs in terms of in the realm of what they produce, but in terms of the numbers, in terms of enrollment, well, that's why Al Gore has his good internet. Let's do the numbers. Let's do the numbers, shall we? Hold on, give me just a second, y'all. I closed a tab that I needed to have open, and I'm upset with myself. Give me a second, y'all. I need to go back and reopen this tab that I closed. I closed the wrong tab, y'all. Sorry. I did want that. That's the one I wanted right there. All right. Hold on. All right. Hold on, y'all. My computer's going really, really slow right now. Let's do this search for largest HBCUs in the nation. All right, the top 10 in terms of where am I at? Largest HBCUs by enrollment. Okay. Let me put this up. Really might be right. I don't know. How old is it? I gotta hold on before I put this up in front of y'all. I gotta vet this information and make sure, see when they gathered this information. Okay. It is recent data. Okay. All right. I had to vet the information. All right, here we go. Let me put it up for y'all. Now I'm just looking at the top 10. Now y'all might say I could look at the top whatever. No, not choosing numbers. Where are we at? We're doing screen share. Okay. Here we go, right here. Come on. Oh. There we go. All right, here's the top 10 schools in terms of enrollment. Number 10 is Norfolk State University, rounding out the list at 7,100. Morgan State is number 9 at 7,900. Prairie View A&M has 8,300. North Carolina A&T is number 7 at 8,600. Tennessee State is number 6 at 8,700. Jackson State is number 5 at 9,000. And these are these are rounded off estimate numbers. I will say that these are rounded off numbers. Texas Southern has 9,500. Howard has 10,000. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 7 was NCC Central. NC Central. I'm sorry. I said A&T. NC Central was number 7. North Carolina A&T is number 2. Now, the interesting thing is, and FAMU is number 1 in terms of enrollment. Now, the reason that you see A&T and FAMU the top 2 is because these are state schools. And so they are state funded, whereas many HBCUs are privately funded. And so therefore, that's why sometimes you see the lower enrollment. Oftentimes you do see the lower enrollment because they are private funded, and they end up having higher tuitions and so forth. But going back to my point, my point that I was making earlier was since they had already said that they had already been giving to Morehouse and Spelman. That's why I felt that there was a need for them to share the wealth and give give the monies so that it could be spread out through, more HBCUs. Little baby, you might be right. I'm not sure about that. I can't speak to that specifically, that whether or not United Negro College Fund doesn't give to state funded schools. I just don't know that. All right. So that was that article. Interesting conversation though. I see we have people on both sides with regard to that article. Our next article is this one, because they're still killing us and we have to talk about it. So, a black teen was found hanged in a Texas school parking lot. According to authorities in Harris County, Texas, the body of an African American teenager was found hanging in the parking lot of an elementary school on Tuesday. Harris County Sheriff's Office deputies posted on Facebook that they were called to the parking area of a school at the 6600 block of Rosebrook when a teenage black male was found deceased. Quote, based on a security video, witnesses and other evidence, preliminary indications are the male hanged himself, end quote. A Twitter post read. Oh, that's this thing making a noise. Let me pause there. I was like, where's this noise coming from? Let me go back. There are currently no signs of foul play, and the young man's name has been released. The cause of death is pending an autopsy. On Twitter, users are demanding that authorities release the security footage. The death of the teenager is the second in the Houston area. A Hispanic man was found hanged on Monday in what is also being considered a suicide. Both deaths follow two hangings in Southern California, where federal authorities are investigating the death of Robert Fuller in Palmdale and Malcolm Harsh in Victorville. Quote, the FBI, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California, and the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division are actively reviewing the investigations into the hanging deaths of two African American men in the cities of Palmdale and Victorville to determine whether there are violations of federal law, end quote, the Bureau said in a statement. Social media users continue to discount how Fuller and Harsh died. All righty. Quote, never in my life have I heard of a man hanging himself on a tree. One viral tweet read, let alone multiple black men hanging themselves on trees in the same week during the civil rights movement. This is not coincidence. The hanging deaths have occurred during global unrest over race in the United States following weeks of protests against police brutality and systemic racism. The demonstrations were sparked by, and we know all of that. So my question when I read this article is, what are your thoughts on it? Are you going to buy and believe what the police are saying, that these are, suicides, or are you along the line of Al Gore's internet and Black Twitter and social media that are saying, hey, boo, we ain't buying it. Show us the footage. We need receipts. How do you all feel about that? Do you all think that it's just coincidental that these black men are finding themselves hanged? Because my mind is thinking in 2020, when people are deciding to end it all, I don't think that by and large, most people are saying, oh, let me go hang myself. But I could be wrong. I'm not in the business of killing myself, so I wonder if they released the footage to the family. That's what I want to know. I mean, there's so many other ways to do it. I mean, I would figure most people would go the route of taking a whole bunch of sleeping pills or something. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to saying, "Oh, I'm gonna hang myself." I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I really wanted to know what y'all thought about this because the way you read a lot of stuff, it makes it seem like they are doing like they always do and try to make it seem like us black people are just crazy and we're always thinking the worst when it's really not that way. Y'all know that's the story of racism in America. The story of racism in America is we call out racism and everybody else screams, "Really? You doing that again?" It's not that. It's really not that serious. It's because it's never that serious for them. It's not that serious for them until it happens to them. But when we call it out and we say, "No, that don't sound right." Now it's we're the problem. I'm just saying. But it's only the black race where there's a problem. There is camera footage, but they haven't released it. And that's why I said, Abby, I wonder if the family has seen the surveillance footage. I'm with you, Chantel, because see what happens is y'all did this to yourselves, white people. Hashtag white people. When y'all told us y'all gonna fight hard for this Second Amendment, great. You fought for the Second Amendment, we will use it and we will arm ourselves. But they said that there is surveillance video, but they haven't released it yet. That's the point, Abby. Everybody has questions, but the police just blatantly, right off the bat, say, "Oh, it was suicide." Really, really. There's way too many questions. But this is Texas. But I wanted to get y'all opinion on that. Let's go to the next story. Now, y'all know I'm not going to talk about this stuff without introducing the world of sports to this. Take a sip. Hold on. I needed to lubricate. All right. So, according to Black Sports Online, one of my favorite blogs, and several other sports outlets, the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly the San Diego Chargers, say they plan to work out Colin Kaepernick. I mean, it makes sense because they don't have Philip Rivers no more. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let me just stand. Let's read the article. Hold on. There is no harm in having Colin Kaepernick at least work out with some teams. One team has finally publicly said that they are open to it, and that is the LA Chargers. The Chargers have three quarterbacks under contract, but Kaepernick does fit their system. It should be noted he stated that Kaepernick is on their quote emergency workout list, end quote. So don't get too excited, but it's a start. Now, my thoughts on it is this. Colin Kaepernick worked out for the Seattle Seahawks. And it was all for show. It was all a sham. Excuse me. They didn't even have him go through any drills. They have him go through any of the showing them how he reads defenses, and they didn't have him go through any of that. They were just like a sit down interview type thing. It was all a sham. And that's why recently you saw Pete Carroll, who's also backpedaling and pussy popping. And Pete Carroll, who's trying to jump on the bandwagon again. He can go on over there and sit by one of y'all. But none of these white people that's trying to jump on the bandwagon now will be sitting by me. Ain't no room by me. I got big sis on one side and big sis on the other side. And they ain't going to make no room for you. Sorry. I'm just saying. Anyway. Now they have that guy there. The guy you see is damn, I can't think of his name, but that's the head coach. Damn it, I can't think of his name. But he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. So Colin Kaepernick has in statements with people said that he is willing to re-enter the league if given a fair chance. Because they can't even go with the whole kneeling thing. Because hell, you know how many people about to be kneeling this coming season? Hello. Personally, I think the league needs Colin Kaepernick way more than Colin Kaepernick needs them. Let me see what y'all saying. You know what, Dami? Not Dope 45. Pete Carroll ain't shit. Pete Carroll, listen. Pete Carroll is riddled, admired in racism himself. But that's a whole nother lie for a whole nother day. I ain't even going down that road. Could Colin Kaepernick be a good fit? Sure. Will he get a fair chance? I don't know. Y'all want to know who the Los Angeles Chargers has for quarterbacks? Y'all really want to know? As of right now, the Chargers quarterbacks are Lord, where do you get a load of these names? Oh my God. They have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Well, that's what I'm seeing, but they have Tyrod Taylor. Hold on. Tyrod Taylor, some dude named Easton Stick, some dude named Sean Salisbury, and AJ Feely. I didn't even know AJ Feely was still in the league. Okay. Now Tyrod Taylor was all right in Buffalo, but if you can have a Tyrod Taylor, you can have a Colin Kaepernick. I ain't gonna go deep into the whole X's and O's and sports of it all. Hey, Lady T. Yes, that Tyrod Taylor of Buffalo. Now, if you're gonna have Tyrod Taylor, you might as well have Colin Kaepernick. They basically have the same game. Yeah, Pete Carroll ain't shit. He ain't been shit since his days back at USC. But we already know that. Moving on. That was awesome. Y'all know I'm not gonna do too much without giving you a sports story here or there. I mean, I got to. And one of the bigger stories of the day, and white people, hashtag white people, backpedaling and pussy popping. Quaker Oats has announced they're going to rename Aunt Jemima brand because it's based on a racist stereotype. So it won't be Aunt Jemima no more. Now I don't know if they said if whether or not they're going to. I'm sorry, they said what it's going to be. But hey, Quaker Oats, y'all racist ass knew that shit was racist long time ago. It's been racist for 130 plus years you've had it around. Don't come in here with this fuck shit and fuckery. Now all of a sudden it's racist. Bitch, you been racist. Now while people are going to say, oh, I'm glad it's happening, I ain't giving you no applause, Quaker Oats. I'm not giving you an applause. Nope. You won't be getting it from me. Now, we haven't gotten to that season of A Different World, but it makes me think about, remember that episode of A Different World where they had the big showcase and there was the colorism episode where Kim was battling, colorism, and they wanted her to dress up as a mammy or Aunt Jemima or whatever. You remember? And there was that whole conversation and struggle with that. And that was way back in the 80s. Well, early 90s. That was like 30 years ago. Let me see what y'all saying. Because I have a lot of thoughts. Like, they ain't getting no kudos, no nothing. They ain't getting nothing. But Nancy Green was the woman who inspired Aunt Jemima. They gypped her after her untimely death. They need to pay her family them royalties. Ooh. Now I did not know that. Chantel, thank you for that bit of information. So the lady who I guess posed for the picture, they never give her or who inspired that character, they ain't get that. They ain't give her no money. Horrible. That's horrible. But that's what white people do. Hashtag white people. That's what they do. That's what they do. Hashtag white people. They do fuck shit like that. I'm not giving Aunt Jemima, Quaker Oats, no pass. Bitch, you been racist how long? You know you been racist. I'm just saying. Right, little baby, but we all remember when we were little, the old picture of Aunt Jemima. We all remember that. And it ain't the one you see now. I just knew Uncle Ben's was gonna be next. When I read this, I thought the same thing, Shanta. I knew Uncle Ben's was gonna be next. I knew that. I'm just saying. Now, with all of this and everything that we see going on and white people feeling their guilt, I've talked to some people, black people, and a few people descended from the Caucasus Mountains. And they seem to be of the notion that when you add all of these things up, it shows you that the tide is turning and America is talking about these things and is getting to the point where America is ready to um, get itself right and better itself with regard to race relations in this country. You can call me cynical. You can call me whatever you want, but I ain't buying it. And if you are a black person in this country, you ain't buying it either. We done been black long enough. We done been through enough. We done been down this road. We ain't buying it. I won't believe it till I see it. Now you talking about receipts? No, I'm gonna need receipts for this. I believe it when I see it. When I see the receipts that this country has changed, then I hated that alligator syrup. I thought it was the nastiest stuff on earth. I thought it was very disgusting. I hated that syrup. But I know what you're talking about. Do y'all think that the tide is really turning in this country, or are white people just trying to do a couple things to shut us up? What are your thoughts? Because my thought is white people, hashtag white people, white people are going to do anything they can to protect the bottom dollar. And if that means that I got to change the name of something, if that means that I got to appease you Negroes for a little bit, I'll do that until I can get past all of this that's going on and get to and go back to what I was doing. I'm gonna tell you this. I see your comment, MVM. I'm gonna tell you this. There's a whole lot of white people right now praying for the second wave of COVID-19. Oh, they are praying to sweet baby Jesus. Please let us have a second wave so we can send these Negroes back in the house. Praying for it. Because they thought we was going to be tired by now. See, what they banked on is they banked on us not being like our forefathers and our ancestors and forefathers and foremothers and being in it for the long haul. They banked on, oh, they're going to do this for a couple days. By the weekend, they're going to be tired and they're gonna go back to the house, and that's gonna be that, and we ain't got nothing to worry about. And they didn't know that we have strong backs. We stand on the shoulders of giants, okay? And we're not here for the fuck shit and fuckery. So we in it for the long haul. And that's where they got, that's where they fucked up. That's where they fucked up. Exactly, babe. They want us to shut up. They've been knowing this shit was racist all this time, but the bottom dollar is being affected. No, no, Jermaine, I think you missed my point. Jermaine, what I'm saying is our forefathers and foremothers protested for years, decades, some of them their entire lives. They expected our generation to quickly get tired. They didn't expect our generation to be able to have the stamina and fortitude and wherewithal to do like our forefathers and foremothers did and be in the fight and protest year after year after year. That's where the problem came. So, but they miscalculated. They read their hand wrong. They was playing Bid Whist and they said downtown and they should have said uptown. You read your head all wrong. Baby, you called downtown. You should have called uptown. You should have been able to count the cards and know what your partner had in his or her hand. That's really be she'll tell you. Really be jump up out them bushes. Tell them about Bid Whist. Bitches calling downtown. They should have called uptown. Yes, ma'am. Anyway. So I'm glad that y'all are not like that y'all are like me. And y'all are not buying the fuckery, fuck shit, and fucktitude. Hey Lady T, I ain't even say hi to you. Hey Jermaine, I ain't say hi to you either. From some of these companies. Right. And listen, if I get another one of those carefully concocted corporate emails from the CEO or one of the C's in the company or from HR about this, I'm a vomit. Cause the shit that they be putting in their email, listen, I read those emails and my whole stomach contorts. You know I be rolling my whole I be like, that's what you're doing sending this email? Okay. Kind of like how Really B was probably disgusted when her school district forced her to read to do some course about racism and all this stuff going on right now and protesting. Just a mess. So yeah. Because remember, we always were accused of, oh, you're pulling the race card. Oh, you're pulling the race card. Oh, it's not that serious. Oh, that's not racism. You're looking at that wrong. No, bitch, I ain't looking at the goddamn thing wrong. I ain't looking at nothing wrong. Every black person has dealt with that so many times you can't even number it. So much so that some of us, not me, but some of us get to the point where you just get so tired of being told that no, it's not that you just say, fuck it, I ain't even going to talk to them. Because I already know what they finna tell me. I already know how this finna go. And I don't even want to go down that road. I'm just saying. What am I eating? It's like a little trail mix. It's so good. It's called a bar mix. But really B knows that Publix is the club. But if you want to see what it looks like, see what it looks like. It got little peanuts and little all kinds of little doodads and hee-haws in there. I'm also eating simultaneously Ruffles, sour cream and onion. At the same time, I'm also eating Sour Patch Kids, the two flavored ones called Heads. Judge your mama, don't judge me. Don't judge me, Dommy. Right, Chantel, they're being you're so aggressive instead of assertive. Just a mess. Just a whole mess. So those were all my stories. Y'all, I told you I had good news, so we almost to the good news. We are getting to the good news stories now. Those were all my stories dealing with everything that we got going on with the movement. I wanted to bring y'all some at the beginning of my live, some things that we have going on, some things I wanted you to know in case you didn't involve in the movement. You know I couldn't go without letting you see this. Supreme Court rules civil rights law protects LGBTQ community from discrimination. Well, I'll read this real fast. I'm not going to try not to read all of it. But in a landmark ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday that it is illegal for an employer to fire someone because of their sexual orientation or gender identity, delivering a major victory in the fight for civil rights for LGBTQ people. The court's 6-3 ruling extends the scope of the Title IX of the Civil Rights Act, which bars discriminations on the basis of sex, race, color, national origin, and religion, to include LGBTQ people. Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Neil Gorsuch, who authored the majority's opinion, joined the liberal wing of the bench in ruling that an employer who fires an individual merely for being gay or transgender violates Title 7, excuse me, not Title 9, Title 7. I'm not even reading the Roman numerals right. Quote, judges are not free to overlook plain statutory commands on the strength of nothing more than suppositions about intentions or guesswork about expectations, end quote, Gorsuch wrote. In Title 7, Congress adopted broad language making it illegal for an employer to rely on an employee's sex when deciding to fire that employee. We do not hesitate to recognize today a necessary consequence of that legislative choice. An employer who fires an individual merely for being gay or transgender defies the law, end quote. And it goes on and on and on. Now, I do want to read the next paragraph. The cases involving Title VII, of which there were 3 before the court, were the first involving LGBTQ rights to reach the justices since the retirement of Justice Anthony Kennedy in 2018. Kennedy authored the majority opinion in all major gay rights cases decided by the court, and President Trump replaced him with Justice Brett Kavanaugh, an appointment that shifted the court rightward. Now, Judge Kavanaugh, you should know, did not vote with the majority on this. So you know how he voted. That's the same one who's sexually assaulting people. That Judge Kavanaugh. The same Judge Kavanaugh who, during his hearings, allegedly Senator Lindsey Graham was doing lines of coke off of some male escort's penis. Allegedly. Mm-hmm. A mess. A mess. A mess. Let me see what y'all saying. Yeah, Chantel, Lady G. Lady G. Child. Right, her little ladybugs. A mess. A damn mess. So, shouts out to the Supreme Court for doing that. But we still have more to do. I'm just hoping that Ruth Bader Ginsburg holds on until after January 20th of 2021. Okay? Please. Because even if right now Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, God, I hope, please go bubble wrap that lady. But if she unfortunately died, remember when Anthony Scalia died and they told Obama he couldn't nominate somebody because it was too close to the election? You better believe Mitch McConnell would have no parts of that right now with regard to Donald Trump. He would let Donald Trump do it in a heartbeat and act like what happened in 2016 never happened. That's a whole nother argument for a whole nother day. We ain't even going down that road. A mess. A mess. In other positive news, Missouri Episcopalians elect the first Black gay bishop. Congratulations are in order for the Episcopal Diocese of Missouri, as the Episcopal Diocese of Missouri has a new leader, and it's a choice that's making history. Reverend Dion K. Johnson was ordained Saturday as the 11th Episcopal Bishop of Missouri. He is not only the first Black, but also the first Black openly gay bishop in the diocese's 179-year history. To find ourselves in this moment, the descendant of a slave, to be called to be the Bishop of Missouri, God is good, Johnson said during his ordination service. To the people of Missouri, we have a whole new story to tell and a whole new boldness to tell it with. So I look forward to the adventure. Bishop Johnson says racial justice will be an important part of his leadership. He participated in several peaceful protests in St. Louis over the last few weeks. Johnson has served as rector of St. Paul's Episcopal Church in Brighton, Michigan since 2006. He easily won election in the first round of voting, receiving 71 votes from lay delegates and 42 votes from clergy out of 164 total voting delegates. His Michigan congregation reports an average Sunday attendance of approximately 90 persons, which has only had minor fluctuations since 2008. The bishop-elect, a native of Barbados, is a graduate of the Episcopal Church's General Theological Seminary and is married to Giovanni Osario Vasquez Johnson. Both are foster parents. All right now. All right. And that is our next story. You said, Jonathan, you said I can't lie, finding about who we really are has really helped me be more confident in myself. Interesting, Jonathan. Do expound. Tell me more, Jonathan. I don't know what you mean. Tell me more. Expound on that. All right. Here's a not so good story. Angering, a story that will anger you. So I'm letting you know that now. According to bscott.com, lovebscott.com, Delta, American Airlines, JetBlue, and other airlines to stop serving alcohol on flights. Now, wait a damn minute. What? I need to read this article because I'm going to tell you now. Y'all going to have a whole lot of fucked up flights if you don't let people drink. I'm just letting you know that now. Some of us need a good drink at the beginning of the flight because based on however long your flight is, you just want to go to sleep and wake up when they say we landed. And a good drink helps you do that. A mess. So it says while EasyJet has made water the only available beverage, KLM will also serve soft drinks. I don't wait, did I read the wrong? Oh, several airlines have either stopped or limited alcohol service during domestic flights to minimize the amount of interactions between passengers and crew in wake of COVID-19. Now, let me stop you right there. First of all, you giving me alcohol during my flight is no different than you giving me a cup of water or you giving me some soda. You still got to give me something because you ain't finna have my stinking ass sitting in this whole ass flight and not getting nothing. You don't believe that shit? Not with the prices that y'all charging. So if you're gonna give me water, or if you're gonna give me water or soda or whatever non-alcoholic, you can give me something alcoholic as well. Limit, you know what? Minimize the amount of interaction between passengers and crew. You're already in a confined space. You're on a plane. I'm not here for this. I'm not here for this. Via Complex. While EasyJet has made water the only available beverage, KLM will also serve soft drinks. Delta Airlines will reserve beer, wine, and hard liquor for its international flights only, and American Airlines will keep its alcohol solely for those in first class or flying international. A mess. A mess. Earlier this month, a group that represents Delta, JetBlue, Southwest, and United issued a policy in response to the threat of COVID-19 that allow for stiff punishments to be imposed on passengers who fail to abide by the requirements of wearing a face mask while on board. Each airline could determine the punishment if this rule is violated. United, for example, has already dictated that anyone in violation of the policy, following ample warnings from staff of their face mask policy, would be placed on an quote internal travel restriction list end quote, which would prevent them from using their airline for a certain period of time. You know what? The Transportation Security Administration reported over 500,000 passengers were screened in a single day last week for the first time in March since March 21st. While the total doesn't come close to the average of 2 million daily around this time last year, it's still a vast improvement from the fewer than 100,000 travelers who were coming some days during the worst of the coronavirus pandemic. These figures suggest that while business for the airlines appears to be increasing, it's still a ways away from getting back to normal. So wait a minute. Like I said, you telling me I can get water from you, but I can get sapphire and lemonade. I would venture to think, now, I'm not a doctor and I don't know any of this to be true, but I would venture to guess that the ethanol and alcohol that are in, an alcoholic beverage will probably do more to kill off bacteria than plain water. I'm just saying. But I'm not a doctor. I do not. Well, I do have my doctorate, and you should address me as doctor, but I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not an epidemiologist. And so I can't speak totally to that, but I'm just thinking in my head. I mean, it's a just a damn mess. I'm not here for this. Child, NBA, you got to sneak that in your bra. You got to put it right on in your bra like you do when you go to the movie theaters. And we ain't going there no more either. So, but don't forget you got to go through TSA. And TSA is not going to let you sneak that flask up in that cabin. You ain't getting that flask past TSA. Mm-mm. What they have, a 3-ounce rule? Mm-mm. They ain't playing them games. You're gonna have to do a full cavity search. Let me shove my fingers up in you to see what you got up in there. Just saying. Now, do y'all remember I told y'all I had good news? Gather yourselves, gather your friends, get everybody around. It's time. If whoever wasn't watching before, tell them now is the time to come in. Now is the time to come and watch L Teddy 27 because we have great news. Such good news that I want as many people to watch this as they can. So I'll give you a few moments. Let me take a sip. Can I get all my mods to put a 27 in the chat so I can see which mods are here? Mods, if you in the bushes, can y'all fall out the bushes and put a 27 in the chat, please, mods, please? Please. Dami. Oh, Ty is, let me call Ty. Because Ty be done said I ain't tell him. He ain't shit anyway. Bitch ain't doing a goddamn thing. See, this is going to give y'all more time to get in here. Let me call Ty before he say I ain't tell him. Now, I promise you, the first thing he's going to type in the chat after I call him is, yet another live I wasn't invited to. That's what he's going to say. Like we never talked. I need to put him on, not on speaker, because I don't know what he might say. I don't want him to put his business out there. He's not answering the phone. Please leave your message for. He didn't answer the phone. That's not good, Ty. Anyway, all right, so let's do it. Let's get to the good news. I'm ready, y'all. I'm ready. Y'all ready? Put a 27 in the chat if you're ready for the good news. If you're ready, if you're ready. If you're, oh, I only got one mod up in here. Jesus. Well, Dami, green means that you've been a member for a month. Pink means you've been a member for 2 months. And purple means you've been a member for, purple means that you've been a member for 3 months. And then I think it skips to 6 months. Now, when you get to the next membership level after the purple, it switches from the hat. It switches from that to another. I'm not going to tell you what it switches to. I know what it switches to because I created it. Well, it switches to something else, and you'll see that. And it's a different color as well. You'll see it when you get there. Yeah, Ty probably is out there thoughting. That's what he does. He's a whole ass thought. But Dama, you see how Ebby has purple? Ebby has purple. Hey, Miss Baythang. Ebby has purple because she's been a member for 3 months now. But the people who have the pink, they've been members for 2 months, and the green, it means you've been members for less than a month. All right, so let's get to the happy story. All right, so, and we talked about this the other day. In news we have all been eagerly anticipating, and this was what Dami sent me part of this. When I first came on, if y'all remember, I said to Dami, that's on my list, and it was. Hold on, y'all. All right, so read this title. Read it. Read it. Read it. I'll let you read it to yourself. That says Tiffany Haddish and Megan Thee Stallion spotted at, quote, All Black Lives Matter, end quote, march. And cast of Noah's Ark seen filming. Reboot in the works, photos and video. Listen, we don't give a shit about Tiffany Haddish. We also don't give a shit about Megan Thee Stallion. But that second part, this part right here is what we're here for. That is the good news. Thank you so much, MVM, for becoming a Shondo socialite. Thank you so much. Noah's Ark is perhaps coming back. It's been rumored for a while, but allegedly they are filming the reboot for Noah's Ark. Let me read the article for you. This past Saturday, there was a huge All Black Lives Matter march with a focus on the Black LGBTQ community, and the celebs came out to support. Seen out and about were Megan Thee Stallion, as well as Common and Tiffany Haddish, who have yet to confirm those, quote, couple rumors. One fan at the rally noticed cast members from the groundbreaking gay black TV series Noah's Ark, who appeared to be filming at the march. Daryl Stephen Noah, Jensen Atwood Wade, and Rodney Chester Alex were spotted carrying signs and chanting with protesters while multiple cameras were rolling. According to the fan, the actors were, quote, trying to be incognito, but they were clearly being directed and moved around as though they were shooting something. Get into the video captured by the fan where Jensen Atwood leads the crowd in a BLM chat. Let's see. See if this will play. Is it going to play? Please don't be YouTube.
Justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Justice!
All right. So that was that. And there's a picture. There's Rodney Chester, who plays Alex. There's Daryl Stevens, who plays Noah, and there's Jensen Atwood, who plays Wade. Yes. The actors also posed for pics, although they were tight-lipped when asked if they were filming new episodes. Could a reboot be in the works? Noah's Ark ran then that talks about Noah's Ark. So, can I tell y'all, remember I just did my video and now according to what Patrick Ian Polk has posted on his Instagram, okay? According to Patrick Ian Polk's Instagram, it says the word is out. Ticket link in my bio, and please donate to the charities listed. Los Angeles, California, Wednesday, June 17th, 2020. It's time to reunite with the characters of the wildly popular, groundbreaking Black gay television series Noah's Ark. After a 12-year hiatus, Noah, Alex, Ricky, and Chance will finally reunite in Noah's Ark, The Rona Chronicles. Independence Day weekend, Patrick Ian Polk Entertainment and title sponsor Gilead will present the worldwide premiere of a special reunion episode on Sunday, July 5th, 2020, streaming at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The event will stream on Patrick Ian Polk's Entertainment's YouTube and Facebook page and celebrate the 15th anniversary of the show's premiere. GLAAD and Impulse DC are supporting sponsors for the reunion. For more information, visit the event page and they have the link there. The virtual reunion will kick off with a pre-show tailgate party featuring clips from the series and testimonial videos from fans presented and hosted by Moby. And Moby stands for Mobilizing Our Brothers Initiative, followed by the reunion episode written and directed by the show's creator, Patrick Ian Polk. A post-show live question and answer with original cast Daryl Stevens, Jensen Atwood, Rodney Chester, Doug Spearman, Christian Vincent, and Gregory Keith will be moderated by Karomo Brown, Netflix's Queer Eye. Noah's Ark, a classic LGBT series about a group of Black gay friends navigating the gay dating scene in Los Angeles, ran on MTV Viacom's logo channel from 2005 to 2007 and wrapped up with the award-winning 2008 feature film Noah's Ark, Jump in the Broom, 10 years after the wedding, all of that. 10 years after the wedding, the reunion finds Noah and pals in the middle of a worldwide public health crisis and global social justice movement. And there we have it. All right. So that is the news that we wanted to hear. That was the good news. We are all happy. We are jumping for joy. We are happy, happy, joy, joy. If you do not know what Noah's Ark is, hey, LaDonna. Hey, boo. Listen. And I just made my video and featured Patrick Ian Polk in it. Noah's Ark is back. Here for it. So yes, they are filming they're going to have a reunion, but they're also filming an episode that will chronicle 10 years after Noah and Wade were married. Noah and Wade's marriage. So we're here for all parts of this. Stay tuned. It's supposed to air on July 5th, which is coming really quickly. That's Really B's birthday weekend. And yeah, I plan to be in Miami that weekend. So yeah. Anyway, that was our good news of the day. And who the fuck cares? And we don't need that news. This is our who the fuck cares? And we didn't ask for that news. Read that headline. Just give you a chance. This is our Who the fuck cares? And we didn't need that news. Did anybody care about any of this? We don't care about them. I don't even, you know what? I'm not going to even bother to read this. I'm not going to even bother to read the article. I'm not going to even bother to read this mess. Because I don't care about SpongeBob. And I don't even know who that other cartoon character is. I don't even know who she is. But I've never watched an episode of SpongeBob in my life, so I could care less. And all my friends say that I'm a horrible person because I've never watched it, but I've never seen an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants in my life. I'm just saying. Our last story that I found here on Al Gore's internet. Y'all know I like to read the title and then we'll read the article. Title says, quote, man sentenced to 6 years in prison for shooting himself in the dick, blaming a homeless person. Let that marinate for a while. Let y'all digest that. Let y'all digest that right there. Let y'all digest that. Man sentenced to 6 years in prison for shooting himself in the dick, blaming a homeless person. So let's go to, yeah, that's y'all boy. That's y'all boy. A Portland man who accidentally shot himself in the groin but told police he was robbed and shot by a homeless man at a bus stop was sentenced to nearly 6 years in federal prison. Marcus Anthony Davis Jr., 35, wasn't allowed to have a gun because he had been convicted of prior felonies and was on federal supervision for a drug offense at the time of the January 8th shooting. U.S. District Judge Karen J. Emergut sentenced Davis to 5 years and 9 months in custody after he pleaded guilty to being a felon in possession of a firearm. The prison term was a joint recommendation by the prosecutor and defense lawyer as part of a negotiated deal. The prosecutor said Davis made a dangerous choice to pick up a gun when he clearly knew he was prohibited from carrying guns. Quote, he paid a significant price with his physical injuries and the sentence he's now going to receive, end quote, Assistant U.S. Attorney Louis Burkhart said. Quote, I don't think anything the court can say or the government can say can top the injuries he gave to himself to stop him from possessing firearms. Hopefully, this is the last time we will see Mr. Davis, end quote. Davis was treated at a local hospital on January 8th. Records show that a single bullet traveled through the top of his penis, through his right testicle, into his upper inner right thigh, and exited through the lower right thigh, according to Burkhart. So let's do some navigation here. Bullet goes through the top of his penis, through his right testicle. But what I'm thinking is for it to go from the top of the penis through the right testicle to the upper thigh, out the lower thigh, that means one of two things is happening here. Either it's a situation where the phallus is pointing upward and the bullet goes down through the tip, down through the testicle, down through the thigh, and out through the lower thigh, upper thigh, and out through the lower thigh. or his shit is so small that it doesn't hang past the nuts. And so when he shot himself through the tip of the dick, it also went through the right testicle as well because he hangs to the right and then went through the right upper thigh and out the right lower thigh. I'm just saying. Y'all ready like I did. I can't make this stuff up. Let's continue on because these stories always seem to get better. They always seem to get better. Davis claimed he had been robbed and shot by a white homeless man at a TriMet stop at Southeast Powell Boulevard and 82nd Avenue, but he couldn't share any details about the suspect, according to the prosecutor. Police went to the location and found no evidence of a shooting or robbery. Officers later recovered a gun in the car of Davis's girlfriend that was the one believed to have been involved in the shooting. The police was hidden in Davis's the gun was hidden in Davis's bloody clothes, according to the prosecutor. It was a 40 caliber handgun loaded with 6 bullets. The gun had blood on it and a shell casing was stuck in the slide. They also discovered a gunshot hole in a black pair of sweatpants. A mess, a damn mess. The gun had been reported stolen in 2018. Based on the injuries, physical evidence, the bullet's trajectory, the jammed shell casing, and hole in Davis's pants, police determined the injuries were self-inflicted. The evidence gathered showed the injuries were consistent with an accidental discharge, according to the defendant. Occurring while the defendant had the handgun in a pocket or waistband. So the gun was in his waistband and it went off and ooh. But if that's the case, then that means that the latter story that I came up with, the story that says your shit is so small it doesn't even hang past your balls, and it was laying on your balls. The head was laying on your balls. So you shot yourself in the dick. It went through your right testicle. It went through the upper part of your thigh and out the lower part of your thigh. A fucking mess. A fucking mess. A damn mess. Where am I? The evidence gathered showed the injuries were consistent with an accidental discharge. Oh, I read that. Davis described by the prosecutor in court papers as a member of the Rolling 60s gang. Was on federal supervision from a 2016 conviction of possession with intent to distribute cocaine. He has prior convictions in Multnomah County for assault and attempted murder. Mr. Davis has taken stock of his future. Assistant federal defender Francesca Ficero told the judge he resolved his new charges very quickly. Davis appeared by video for the hearing, told the court he's committed to being a, quote, better role model and example, end quote, for his 2 children. No, you ain't no role model for a goddamn thing, Mr. Davis. Nobody wants to model their actions after you. Who is trying to shoot themselves in the dick, the testicles, and the thigh? You are a role model for no one. You are a role model for idiocy and buffoonery. A role model of excellence for idiocy and buffoonery. A mess. A damn mess. Just a damn mess. This, ladies and gentlemen, should be proof positive as to why it's never a good idea to keep your gun in your waistband. Okay? A mess. Just a damn mess. In January, U.S. Magistrate Judge John V. Acosta granted Davis about 10 hours of temporary release so he could be present for the birth of his daughter. Frachero said her client was deeply grateful for the temporary release. Emmergut said she was impressed that Davis returned to custody on his own. Quote, I have to keep them and myself safe, end quote, Davis said of his children. The judge imposed a 2-year sentence for his supervised release violation to run concurrently with his sentence for being a felon in possession of a firearm. My hope, Mr. Davis, being a parent does turn your life around. Emmergut said, I'm begging on you to make a change. A mess. This is what y'all have going on Al Gore's good internet today. On Al Gore's good internet. A mess. Let me see what y'all saying. We're not going down the Bert and Ernie road. Nope. We are not discussing Bert and Ernie. Even though when I was a child, I never said Bert and Ernie. I always said Ernie and Bert. I never said Bert and Ernie. I always said Ernie and Bert. Am I the only one who said Ernie and Bert instead of Bert and Ernie? I'm just asking. But this is what y'all got going on. And those are our stories from Al Gore's good internet. This is what y'all got going on. I mean, loving my peace, you would think that shooting yourself in the dick and the testicle alone was, you have paid your penance to society. What else do you want the man to do? What other thing can you call, what other hurt, harm, or danger can you cause the man? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right. He's worse than Plaxico. You know, Plaxico went to jail in New York for shooting himself. Plaxico was a cute little something though. Well, not little, he was real tall and real black. But Plaxico was cute. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Right. Colo culture. Thank you. I am not the only one who said Ernie and Bert. I thought I was the was that a black thing? Did black people say Ernie and Bert instead of Bert and Ernie? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you also said Ernie and Bert. Put a 2 in the chat if you said Bert and Ernie. I'm sorry, put a 27 in the chat. If you said Bert and Ernie, put a 27 in the chat. If you said Ernie and Bert, put a 1 in the chat. Let me put my own 1 in the chat because I said Ernie and Bert. I did not say Bert and Ernie. Shouts out to Colo Culture. Appreciate you. That's my boy, my resident cisgendered heterosexual male in the chat. Am I really the only one who said Ernie and Bert? No, I'm not, because Colo Culture said he said it too. Nah. So I'm not the only one who said Ernie and Bert. I know I'm off on this island, Abby, and that's fine. Anyway, y'all, any questions before we get off? I've been on here for more than an hour and a half, and I thought I was only going to be an hour, but I wanted to bring some news to you, bring some stories, laugh and kiki. Let me check and make sure, because I don't want to not thank anybody who gave a super chat or a cash app, I want to be grateful to anybody who decided to be charitable and benevolent. Yeah, it does look like I'm the only one who said Ernie and Bert. Me and Colo Culture are the only ones who said Ernie and Bert, and that's fine. Where were today's activities? I was at work all day. I've been at work all day. I ain't have no activities today, little baby. None today. I'm finna go take a nap, and then when I get up later, I may be on my rotation. I may have some activities going on and be on my whole ass rotation. Judge your mama, don't judge me. But yeah, we finna go take a good 2-3 hour nap. Wake up about 7 o'clock and go on the whole stroll. Anyway, can I get some Shondos in the chat before we get out? Really B is also going live after me. I'll stick my head in real fast and then I'm going to sleep. Because I've been up since like 4 and left the house at 5. So I'm tired. And I didn't go to bed till about 2. I know it was after 1:30 when I went to bed. So I'm tired. Shondo's in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here, being present, vocal, and active. Thank you for all that you do. As I always say, I love y'all and I love on y'all. Tomorrow I am off, so I probably will have, I can't say Sexy Thursday, but we'll call it Thirsty Thursday, which will be a mix. It will be a regular Thirsty Thursday where we drink and take shots, but we will also have some thirst traps for you tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. I also have crabs, so I can eat my crabs and talk some shit, and then we can do that. The Thirsty Thursdays and thirst traps and stuff. Y'all know that's members only. So if you are a member, you know you will get the post out. You know, I put up the notification. I'll put up a post, so you know. I'll try and do it like around this time again. If I can, y'all let me know if y'all need me to do it later for y'all members, for you all members, and I can do that, or you could just watch the replay. But yeah, I'm thinking about afternoon. So definitely look out for that. It'll definitely be a Thirsty Thursday where we're taking shots and so forth. And also it will be a Sexy Thursday. A Thirsty Thursday where we're taking shots and everything, but we'll also do thirst traps like a Sexy Sunday. So thank you all for so much. Thank you all so much for everything that you do and just being here, being active. Any final questions for me? If not, everybody get ready to go on over to Really Be. Y'all shoot on over to Really Be TV. And let's show Big Sis some love. I'll meet y'all over there. That's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely.